What's up, guys? This is Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you a, PTL Week 11. That's the first thing. We're playing Mokey and the Golden City Gardevoirs. He is first in the Division 3. Alright, I have resized the battle after some much-needed advice from about three people that this needed to happen. So, we're trying it. Hopefully it works. You guys should be able to see the team. You should be able to see his team, and the battle should be a lot bigger. So I'm kind of I threw random dimensions in there, and I'll adjust it as necessary if I want to take out the chat and whatnot. But it should be good for now, and I'm going to try and fix it for the team builders as well to get the bottom of the team builders out of there and just make it look a little bit prettier. So there you go. Let's talk about Mokey's team. His team consists of Tapu Koko Z-User, Mega Medicham, Amoonguss, Azumarill, Cofagrigus, Incineroar, Silvally, Druddigon, Fortress, Meloetta Z-User, Murkrow, and Yanma Z-User. I came into this match not expecting Amoonguss, Druddigon, Murkrow, or Yanma. I got 3 of those 4 correct, and he actually ended up not bringing Mega Medicham or Cofagrigus, both of which I was really shocked to not see. I thought Cofagrigus was his only good Darmanitan answer. Cofagrigus and Druddigon were his good-ish Darmanitan answers, so it's gonna have to be Incineroar, I think. Yeah, depending on the Silvally type as well, Darmanitan can just absolutely obliterate this team right now. Amoonguss doesn't surprise me that much. I was sort of iffy on it, and Empoleon is 100% my Amoonguss check this game. I've got the safety goggles on there so I can eat spores for days. Tangela is a secondary check, but I can't really hit the Amoonguss back too much with Tangela. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen my team builder, you should check it out. I built a very offensive team, and Tangela is my only defensive mon whatsoever, and it's split defensively so that I can take on Koko and Azumarill, which were big threats to me. Mega Medicham not coming is massive because it basically means that I don't have to worry about as physical of a threat. Honestly, this team doesn't look very threatening to me. It's only Koko and Azu that look threatening. And Incineroar if I can't play around it very well. So, I'm just, I didn't explain the team. Empoleon and safety goggles so that I deal with Amoonguss. I'm modest, max HP, max special attack. Rocks, Defog, Scald, Ice Beam, just so I can handle the Amoonguss a little bit better with the Ice Beam there. Zapdos is offensive, timid, max speed, max special attack with Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Roost, and Heat Wave. Mamoswine is Scarf, but it's an interesting set with Icicle Spear, Earthquake, Endeavor, and Freeze Dry. For the Azu, I'm running a Naive set, so I have some special attack investment. And then Darmanitan is Scarf with Will-O-Wisp, Flare Blitz, Earthquake U-Turn, and Azelf is Assault Vest with Flamethrower. I think it's Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, Psychic, and U-Turn. It might be Shadow Ball. It might be Shadow Ball over Thunderbolt. I can't exactly remember. Either way, I'm going to lead Zapdos. He's got no ground type on his team at all, and a big Volt Switch coming off could be very useful. So that's what I'm going to do here as the Incineroar comes in. And we see that it's Assault Vest based on that damage. So 20%, it should not have taken that little if it was any other set. And I just bring in Empoleon here. There's no way he's going to click Flare Blitz turn 1. Of course, he's going to click U-Turn, so Empoleon was really safe for me, as he is going to U-Turn. Obviously, he was never clicking Earthquake against the Zapdos, and in comes the Koko, which obviously threatens my Empoleon out, but I can go directly into my Tangela now, and he goes into Azu, which was an interesting double. I didn't really understand that double. I am going to click Nature Power and show off that I have Nature Power on this set, because I'm going to get a big T-Bolt off, and that'll do a lot of damage to the Azu if it stays in. And it'll hit whatever, and it's the Amoonguss that is to switch in, and it takes 11. So we see it's not fully specially defensive, but reasonably specially defensive. And Tangela isn't really my answer to this. It's my answer to Koko and Azu. So I'm going to go hard into my Empoleon now on what I expect to be any kind of attack. And it is actually Stun Spore, which Safety Goggles blocks. So big on my part, as in comes the Koko on my Rocks. Rocks are super important in this game for A, breaking the Fortress is sturdy, and B, chipping the Incineroar down, which is such a huge threat to my team. It's necessary to have that chip on it for me to be able to deal with it over time, just because it's going to get off so many hits otherwise. So now I have to switch back to my Tangela as the Koko sets up Calm Mind. I'm going to click Toxic, knowing that it's a Calm Mind variant now. It can't beat me, and Amoonguss comes in on the Toxic. So he's seeing my set on the Tangela. Again, not a huge deal as Empoleon comes in on the Silvally Steel. If he wants to defog here, I get a big hit off on the Silvally, and I'm okay with that. And if he Parting Shotted, then I was also okay with just clicking a Scald, really. And we get a big burn. Again, not totally specially defensive, but reasonably specially defensive based on taking that much damage from Scald. And now I'm going to go into my Tangela on the parting shot, or what I thought was a parting shot as the Thunder Wave comes off. It doesn't really get, like the Thunder Wave's not really, it doesn't really matter on Tangela of all things. I could have brought in Zapdos, but I didn't want him to parting shot. I guess it would have made sense for me to just go into Zapdos on the parting shot anyways. That was probably a bad play on my part, and I should have just gone into Zapdos, because then I could just Volt Switch right out. Now the parting shot's going to come out, as I think I clicked Giga Drain, as he goes into Azu. Yeah, so obviously I'm not clicking Sludge Bomb, but he hasn't seen my last two moves, so Giga Drain comes out there, and the Azu takes meaningful chip, and in comes the Amoonguss on my Sludge Bomb this time. So obviously the -1 special attack mattered there, but Empoleon gets to come in on the Amoonguss, and I'm going to be able to get up my rocks once again. I opted to not this time because I predicted something else switching in on the rocks this time, so I'm going to go for the Ice Beam and pop this thing's Yache Berry. Very important that the Yache Berry is down, because now Mamoswine's in a position where Icicle Spear is going to blow through this thing without the Yache Berry. And he clicks Spore for some reason after he saw my safety goggles, so that was really bad. This time I'm just going to get my rocks up, though. I don't care if Coco comes in. Rocks are so important. Tangela is obviously my sponge for the Coco as he crits me with Dazzling Gleam. You can see with my special defense investment, crits two-shotting me, right? So it's not the end of the world because Tangela can definitely eat Dazzling Gleams, and Regenerator is going to help it a lot as the Silvally Steel comes back in on my Toxic. So, I mean, even though it's Silvally Steel, it was burned anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Mamoswine gets to come in for free here on the Defog, and I get to claim a kill with Mamoswine. Nothing wants to switch around in this Earthquake, and it just, yeah, bye Silvally. Free kill at the beginning. Okay, in comes the Amoonguss, and Empoleon gets to come in again for free on it as he Giga Drains. That's doing a little bit more damage than Foul Play is, but I am going to opt to get up my rocks. Once again, rocks are so important for chipping down the Incineroar that they need to be up at all times. Tangela chews this Thunderbolt in electric terrain pretty much for free as the Fortress comes in on my Sludge Bomb. So he's seen my whole set with Tangela now, and Fortress is a very free switch into this. The only thing I can hit it with is Nature Power, and I don't really care to do that. So I'm just going to go hard into my Zapdos as he's going to get his own rocks up. After the game, I found out this Fortress doesn't even have Rapid Spin. So there's... yeah, he can't get rid of my rocks now that the Silvally's gone. But my Heat Wave is just going to obliterate this thing, and it's going to die. So, luckily for me, that happens. Amoonguss is going to come in. Heat Wave isn't going to kill this, but I can Volt Switch into my Empoleon here. I want to get rid of these rocks and just get a solid bearing here. However, now that the Giga Drain comes off there, I'm dying to another one. And I decided it's more worthwhile for me to have rocks on his side than get rid of them at this stage. So I'm just going to go for the Ice Beam, go for damage on the Amoonguss, be able to get Darmanitan in and claim a kill. Or Mamoswine in and claim a kill, essentially. With Earthquake. Earthquake will like blow through things with Mamoswine here. So I'm going to opt to Ice Beam, and we get a pretty lucky freeze. Now this opens the door for me to be able to defog this turn, and then get up rocks again. So I don't have to deal with rocks. My rocks are up, and the Amoonguss is still frozen, which means I can go into Azelf on his Giga Drain. So he does thaw that turn. It's not the end of the world. And I make a nice little misplay here and click Psychic, but the Incineroar is forced in. I blow its Intimidate, and it takes the chip damage from rocks. So I can just get a U-turn out here into my Empoleon. I figured it's probably just worth me sacking off the Empoleon at this stage. I can play around the Amoonguss, and I can play around Sleep with the Amoonguss at this stage, so it doesn't really matter. And Empoleon isn't doing anything to the Azu anyways. Realistically, I could have like sacked something else, like Tangela, but Tangela is still a useful sponge for the Coco, so either way, Mamoswine gets to come in here and just kill something. And now he's going to bring in the Azu, which I thought was interesting. I figure if he's banded Aqua Jet, it's a roll... He doesn't know how much HP investment I have, right? So if he's banded Aqua Jet, it's a roll to kill me. Depending on how much HP investment I have, it's not a roll to actually kill me because of all the HP investment I have, but I figure if he's that, I'll just click Earthquake, and I crit him. So this is kind of big. He told me, well, he showed me his sets afterwards, and he had a lot of defensive investment, so this crit did matter quite a bit. He had clicked Play Rough, and Play Rough into Aqua Jet would have killed my Mamoswine. Not that I cared too much at that point, because then I just bring in Darmanitan and click Flare Blitz 3 times, kill it. Or I just go Zapdos, click Volt Switch into Darmanitan, and click Flare Blitz twice and kill it. So either way, I still win the game after this point. I don't see a position where I can actually lose this game. As soon as the Incineroar died, it was pretty much game over. And now, yeah, so Amoonguss is going to come in, Basically forces Mamoswine out because I can't kill it with Earthquake. In comes the Tangela on the Spore, and now I'm just going to double into my Darmanitan because there's no way he's clicking Spore twice. In my mind, at least, he wasn't clicking Spore twice. So Darmanitan comes in, I just click Flare Blitz twice. He was really shocked that I was double Scarf, but I brought an extremely offensive team against him. And so we're going to pick up the 5-0 win! We pick up the 5-0 win against Mokey! Yay! Mokey was first, and we were only 2 games back, so picking up a 5-0 win against the first place team, and especially the 5-0, because I have had very poor differential games this season. I think the only one better was my 6-0 against the Anjo Absols, so we're very deep into the season. We are 11 weeks deep, and we hit 7 wins, boys! Oh, I'm so happy that we have some differential back on our side. We have a really solid winning record. We're up in the upper echelons of the division. I need to pick up some clutch wins against the teams below us so that I can make a solid run at a top 2 spot and making playoffs. But that seems very feasible. Don't get me wrong, I'm not discounting any of these matchups. I think they're all relatively difficult. But with only 4 weeks left, I think my toughest opponent is going to be Pauly in week 14. He's got a nasty team with Aegislash Togekiss. It's not a team that I'm looking forward to face whatsoever. But I think it's going to be the hardest one to deal with out of all the rosters that I'm seeing here. Maybe the Hard Rain team. That one also might be a problem. We'll see when it comes to that. Okay, so that is going to be it for me, guys. I do have a drop active next week that we'll talk about in the team builder. Hopefully this new video format looks cool and looks a little bit better, and I'll catch you guys for the next one.